Let's see. Is this thing on? Oh my god. What a time to be alive. This is actually working. Holy jeez. Well, as the screen says, welcome. This is going to be the first ever for me recording. I've been struggling a lot lately to figure out what I'm going to do with this little YouTube channel I've got. Got a lot of interest in doing little animations and drawings and telling stories through those animations and drawings. The problem I'm having is coming up with something to regularly bring that out to everybody, and this is going to be my attempt at that. Immediately, I'm struck with the realization that everything I've heard so far is true. This is a lot harder than it sounds. I just turned on the mic, and now I'm realizing I've got to talk for a good 20 minutes straight about God knows what. But anyway, we're going to dive right in. I got a little background work going on here that we're going to try and do something with, just as I babble on about anything and everything. And I just on a whim wrote out introduction. I don't know what we're going to do with it, but we'll just play around here for a little bit. Missing some letters, I guess I haven't quite fully finished. I just thought we'd go through this and maybe add a little something here to make these letters do something silly, something weird, something who knows what. Don't by any means think this is going to be a tutorial. If you do end up visiting my channel for any length of time, you'll see that the first thing I say is I'm not an animator. This is not my profession. I don't have any natural talent. It's just something I do for fun, and I'm trying to do a little bit more regularly for fun. I've got a few videos that I did, some ideas that I had, plus some sort of fan things I made for some of the YouTubers that I like to listen to in the background. I've actually for a long time used YouTube as background noise, like I'm sure a lot of us do. I just find it relaxing and lets me work on stuff kind of mindlessly and tunes everything else out while I go about my business for the day. So that's what I'm hoping that this channel ends up being for a lot of people, maybe. Like I said, this one video is going to be the start of a series of recordings. I intend to use these as sort of documenting as I go on videos that make it on the channel. But this first one is just sort of a get to know you, get started type thing. Excuse me while I rub my nose there. Anyway, the first thing that I'm noticing right away is I'm going to need to do something about background noise. I know a lot of the YouTubers I listen to are playing video games in the background, which actually makes the dead air a lot less noticeable. Whereas if I stop talking right now, I bet you notice right away that there's not a lot else going on. It's because I am at home by myself right now, enjoying the peace and quiet that I can get in little bursts at a time. I do apologize, but I'm sure my commentary will get better as we go. Like I said, this is very obviously much more difficult than I thought. Every YouTuber I've heard, every content creator said, oh, you know, it's surprisingly difficult to sit here and just talk for hours on end. And I always said, like I'm sure a lot of others did, oh yeah, right, you must have the easiest job in the world, and what do you have to do, sit there and yak about people at the deli counter or any godforsaken thing, who knows. But anyway, we got our first letters done here. No, we're missing a U for some reason. How weird. We can go ahead and fix that. I think all I'm doing here, I'm tracing over these letters that I wrote out in text just because it's the only way I can think of to add some movement and activity to what's going on here, is by creating each letter as their own layer and their own points and giving them their own things to do here. So I hope this goes well. I intend to do a series of recordings. I'll sit down for an hour or so and maybe make 2 or 3 videos out of that. and post them and see how everything goes, see how I enjoy it. I know there's really nobody out there. I got a few subscribers who are rightly only interested in the Northern Lion content, which I can't blame them for, because he is probably my number one go-to for videos when I'm looking to consume the YouTube media. Like I said, I really enjoy just putting on in the background an LSS VOD or even a daily Isaac run. I considered for a while doing gaming, actually, because I fully completed Isaac in 1001 or 1,000,001 or whatever latest Afterbirth Plus achievement there was for getting every one of those blasted achievements and items and touching everything and finding everything, and it's one of the games I've put the most hours into since I came into this quasi-adulthood, and I've enjoyed it. It's a great game I can just pick up whenever I want, and really it ended up introducing me to NL and his brand of comedy, which I love. And that's when I started making videos. Like I said, ultimately I got my own stories to tell, and maybe there'll be an audience for that and maybe there won't, but in the meantime, I just like killing time doing some sort of fan things for NLSS people and putting them in weird positions that they talk about on stream and doing all that kind of stuff. It was great to kind of learn this software and this animating process that I'm going through. It would help probably too, I would imagine, if I had some artistic talent innate deep within me somewhere, but I don't know. I used to be fairly good at drawing and when I was younger, and I kind of lost it for some reason. I don't know what it is, but so there's each letter with its own. And we can see what we're gonna do here. I don't know. Start making them bounce up and down or bob around, and it's a great thing I like about listening to a VOD and an NLSS, and they tell their weird stories and really gives direction to what I have to do. And when I try to just sit down and learn and come up with something off the top of the head, it's hard to figure out what I want to happen in the little story that gets told in this tiny blue box here. But most of the stuff I want to do are funny little things and stories, and some bigger projects I want to work on that I've had an idea of for many years now. Stuff I wrote down ages ago. Tell a story through animation. But we're just going to start very simply here. Maybe we'll just start moving these up and down at some point. Maybe they just kind of suddenly start to spring to life here. For some reason, I'll reset it. I do a lot of this, a lot of back and forth, so if that drives you crazy, then I apologize, but you'll see me scrub across this timeline to see how things look quite often. I might just set that on a cycle, maybe what we'll do is every few seconds, each letter just sort of starts to come to life and starts to do its own thing. So why didn't that work? That should have worked. That's very strange. So we had this, because I bumped it up for some reason. It goes up, comes back, and should cycle back to 24. I cycled it back to 1. I must have cycled it back to 1. So this should work now. And it should just keep looping. There we go. Okay, yeah. So every few seconds we'll just have, maybe we'll do it randomly. We won't go in order. Each letter will just kind of start to do its own thing. So maybe then at the 2-second mark, we'll have this no, probably a long letter would look better. Maybe we'll take this I. And this is very simple. I'm not trying to break, set any great trends here and, shock the world in this high quality animation. This is just stuff that I want to just kind of get used to the idea of talking into this microphone for hours on end. And what did we do on this one? See how that goes in 6 frame cycles. So I'll be doing very simple things at the beginning, but then later on, like I said, maybe we'll start to peel back the veil on, you know, the work that goes into making one of those very short 30-second, and that's really was the problem, was that such short videos took a lot of my time, and during those gaps while I was working on those videos, nothing would be going up on the channel. And I really do want to grow this channel, and it was frustrating to see nothing. Then I'd put out a video, and I mean, they're not groundbreaking, but I mean, I enjoyed the content that ended up being posted. I thought it was a decent enough job that I wanted to share it with whoever wanted to look at it. But the gaps in time are just mind-boggling, and I'd rather I screwed up already. I'd rather have something go up on a consistent basis, and if doing these sort of half-brained commentary things allows that to happen, you know, consistency that is, then I'm all for it. And so now we'll cycle this back to 48. I think that was right. And then again, I go back step by step by step. I'm not confident enough to make a whole bunch of changes in what happens and then just trust that they get done properly. Yeah, there we go. So that's decent enough. There's a slight delay. What is that? Slight delay as it cycles through. Let's put this on just to 84 and see what this delay is. Just that slight stutter right there, eh? Right there, coming out of that frame there. I guess has nothing. Yeah, whatever. I mean, it's gonna be good enough for now. I don't want to, again, with no background noise, these delays while I try to look at what exactly is going on. And I'm really not this much of a perfectionist anyway. Yeah, so anyway, like I was saying, the delays, the timing of getting from video to video published on the channel was just so huge. And again, I mean, I wasn't working. I mean, I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and there's been huge delays. That's not because I've been working on one video for a year. It was the frustration and the realization that, like, I started that Wheat Thins video that I just put up a little while ago back in October. I mean, I could have had it done ages ago, but just regular life getting in the way, of course. Well, not in the way, but just regular life existing delayed when I could work on that video. Realistically, something like that, I mean, it's going to be a few weeks from when I have the idea, start to piece together the visuals in my head of what I want to happen. You're looking at weeks, and I want to get something up there every day on that channel, and that's really going to be the ultimate goal. And I'm sure I'm rambling on here. It's got to have been almost 20 minutes already. I'm going to have to set up a timer or something. But again, I think the commentary will get better. I'm hoping it will. And I'm also hoping that this provides me a good chance to just do a little work in animation every day, record it, get it up on the channel, get some consistency going, get my skills improved, my sense of humor honed perfectly to really bring to life those hilarious NL and NLSS in general kind of stories that get told. I mean, they're pumping those out on a huge huge basis. I mean, we got a lot of content to go through, and I've been going through 2016 VODs listening for stories, and that really seems to be, maybe it was just when I enjoyed it best, but a lot of great stuff was going on in 2016. A lot of hilarious stories coming from those guys, and I hope to really just take advantage of that, honestly, and you know, sharpen my skills in doing this. Them providing me some stories that I can kind of churn out, and maybe bring some smiles to other fans' faces as I do this. Yeah, so it's got to be about 20 minutes. We'll get some more consistency in these videos in the future, and thanks very much. See you soon.